The target of this video discussion is to present the data with either nominal or not nominal into tabular form in preparation for the data analysis and interpretation. So we'll start with the profile, usually the profile of the respondents such as gender, age, civil status, and many others. We need to present this in tabular form. And most of the data here are in nominal because, example, the gender, I just put here 1 2, but this does not mean numbers as 1 and 2, but these are the codes in which 1 refers to male and 2 refers to female. It's safer to type in terms of coding than the words itself to avoid error because it's very technical and it's very sensitive to have errors in terms of the size of the font, the spacing, and so on and so forth. For ages, we have numbers, but we can present this in interval form. Later, we are going to make scales in order to convert this individual score into scale. And the civil status, you have there still numbers. However, these are codes. 1 means single, 2 means married, 3 means separated, 4 means widow or widower. Okay, we will start with the gender. So what I do here in order to present this in data, so I will just copy this and put this in the separate sheet example. I will paste it here. So I'll make it large so we can see, everyone can see. So I will just highlight the data and I will just try to sort that out. You can have it highest to lowest or lowest to highest. So I can see now there are how many 1 and there are how many 2. Okay, so to see that, to count, I don't need to count that one by one, but I will look at here. So you have here the 34 and the count is 17. So what I will do is I will put here the gender, and one of the gender is male, in which I coded 1, and then female is the second, which I coded 2 in the data bank. And then I will put here frequency. When we say frequency, that refers to the total counts of the data in the data set. And then I can put here the percent, or we can have the percentage in symbol. And then the last one is the rank. The rank will tell us which is the highest or the lowest, which can also help in the interpretation. So for the frequency, again, let's try to count 2 here. And there are 17. Try to look at the count here. 17 for female. So we will just type that under female. And we have to count for male. And how many male? We have 13. So 13 for males. And then we have to get the total. How do we get the total? We are going to get the sum, of course. Total is also known as the sum. So this command sum, open parentheses, frequency, and then that's 30. And if you drag that here, so we can get the sum. And then to get the percentage, remember we have to divide the frequency by the total, which is 30, and then multiply it by 100. And that's the answer. We can drag down here, and the answer is that. So if you notice, the sum automatically is 100, of course, because there are 2 data sets, so the total must be 100. We can rank, this is the second rank, and this is the first rank in terms of highest to lowest. Okay, so we can put that as one table. Another is, okay, I can highlight that. We can also use the that's the gender, and this time let's try to look at the age. Okay, so this time we are going to convert this into scale. Okay, so I will just put it here. So in order for us to analyze, we have to put this into scale. Okay, how do we do that? It's better to arrange this again from highest to lowest. Okay, so sort out from largest to highest, lowest. Okay, so if you notice, we can have here the highest score. Okay, and we also have, which is 59. So in this case, the highest score is 59. And we have the lowest score. And what is the lowest score? In this case is 23. So we can put here 23. And then we have to identify the number of scales, meaning how many scales are we going to use in analyzing the ages. So sometimes you will base it on literature, like ages refers to the stage of life, like ad- adolescent, adulthood, and so on and so forth. But if you don't like, you can also decide as to how many scales. Example, I'd like to have it five in my case. Now we have to get the range. The range is actually the difference between the highest and the lowest. So I can subtract the highest score minus the lowest score, which is 23 and 59. So the range now is 36. And what we need is the interval. To get the interval is to divide, we have to divide the range by the number of scales we identified already. Okay, so the interval now is 7.2. Now think that our data is age, so we cannot see decimal, so we can run off that to 7. So if we run off that, so it's either more than 5 scales or less than 5 scales. So how do we do that? We start with the example, we start with the lowest. The lowest score is 23, and then plus 7 as the interval. So what is 23 plus 7? So to be safe, you have to equals 23 plus 7. Type 7, enter. And then you drag down. Okay, so as you notice, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So expecting that we will stop until here. Okay, so if we notice 23 before 30 is 29. Now this is 37, before 37 is 36. Before 44 is 43, and before 51 is 50, and before 58 is 57. Okay, so if you notice, we can delete that because there are already yes, we already have 5 scales. However, our highest is 59. We cannot put that here. So we still have to add. Now, what is, we can add one here. That's 58. So meaning, before, what is after 58? That's 65. So we can delete 65. So before 65 is 64. So that's the scale. So that's it. So what we will do now is to find the frequency. Okay, so we call this as scales. So these are the scales of the ages. And then we have the frequency. And then we have the percentage or the percent. And then we still have to write the rank. Okay. Now in this case, let's try to look at how many ages from 23 to 29. So we'll start here. So 23 to 29 here. You look at here, it's 11. So there are 11. 30 to 36, there are 4. And then 38 to 43, and there are 4 again. And then we have 45 to 50. There are 5 again. And then we have the last, which is 52 to 57. And there are 4 here. And then last one is we have 58 and 59. And there are 2 rather. So let's try to get the total. What is the total now? The expected number is 30. So we have to check whether our counts exceeds or lower than the exact. Okay, so equals sum, open, highlight, enter. Very good, it's 30. So there's no problem with that. Now the percentage again, if you know, remember, you have to equals the frequency divided by 30 times 100. Why 30? Because the total is 30. Okay, so we can have it 2 decimal places. Good, and then we can highlight that down here. There. Okay, don't forget to get the total to check. It's 100. So what is down the highest? The highest now here is 1. That's the highest. Followed by 5. That's the second. However, 4 are 3. Supposedly, this is 3, 4, and 5. However, they are tie. Look at this, tie. So what is the average of 3, 4, and 5? So if you add 3 plus 4 is 7 plus 5 is 12. Divided by 3 is 4. So all the ranks becomes 4. So the 3 becomes 4 and the 5 becomes 4, the average of the ranks. And this is already the last, which is the 6. Okay, as you notice again, the scales become 6 instead of 5 because we round off. Okay, so that's it. That's the problem. Okay, so this is already the profile of the respondent in terms of the age. Okay, now let's now use the profile of the respondent, okay, using the civil status. Okay, so I will copy that and we will try to present that here in the Excel. Okay. Civil status, okay, to be safe, I will arrange them from highest to lowest. It does not compare the number but to group together the status. Okay, so in this case, we will try to copy the header of the table. Okay, so like this, copy. And then we have to put it here. Okay, so this time we will not use the word gender. Okay, so we will just use the word civil status. Okay, that's it. And then you are going to write here the first civil status, if you remember. Okay, single, married, separated, and widow. So let's try to put that here as our guide. Okay, for sure. We can put it here. So we have here one, single. That is one. But you don't need to put the code if you are already in the actual tabular presentation. But in our example, I put it here for you to be guided. What is 1, 2, and 3 based on our coding. And then separated, that is 3. And last is widow or widower. Okay, so again, let's count based on the technique. Okay, so I'll make that as a table. So how many 4? There are 3. So I can put here widower is 3. How many 3? There are 9. So 9 separated. How many 2, which is married? Okay, almost. We have 14. 14 is married. And how many are not married? Single. That's 4 again. So don't forget to get the total. We have to get the total here. Again, the command is equals sum, open parenthesis, highlight. Enter, and that's 30. Very good. So we'll get now the percentage. Again, divide the frequency by the total. Again, that is 30 times 100. And we can run up to 2 decimal places. Okay, there. And then we can highlight down. Okay, so again, the total must be 100. Very good. Now, let's rank this from highest to lowest. That is rank 1, rank 2, rank 3, and this is rank 4. Okay, we are done now with the civil status. But in case in your research, you are asked what is the profile of the respondents in terms of those three, no, the gender, age, and civil status, there are also researchers who would like to put that in one table. Example, this is our gender. We can put that in one table. Okay, so we'll make a summary so that you will know as to what to do if you can also do yourselves. Okay, and then okay. We are going to get also the scale. Okay, it seems that we have an adjustment this time. I think I will put it here. There. Okay, and then the civil status. Okay, there. So what happened here? Okay, so I think you don't need to reflect this again as table if you combine them. You don't need because it's already at the top. However, you have to merge that. Okay, that's it. The scales, no, this is not the scale actually, but this is the age in terms of age. And then gender. Okay, so you can put it here. Okay, the gender. Okay, copy again, and that is gender. I think we don't need that. Ah, yeah. Okay. And then we have to merge that gender. Okay, so to be fair, we have to merge, merge, merge. This is also merge. Okay, center, merge, 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 and merge. Okay, so we can already unify them. So we can label that as one table, and we call that as the profile of the respondents. Okay, here. So as you notice, this is already the result. So if you can discuss, so you can point out. So you can name this as like example, the profile of the respondent. Example, this is table 1, the profile of the respondents. Okay, that's it. So this you can represent this in your tabular presentation in chapter 2. This is just an example of presenting the data in tabular form when the data is nominal. Thank you very much.